Hello and welcome. In this video we're going to be taking a look at one of Sony's most beautiful children, Horizon Zero Dawn. Like me, many gamers are currently eagerly awaiting the newest installment of this Guerrilla Games series, Horizon Forbidden West. So here's everything you need to know about this game, whether you're here for a simple refresh or you've never played the game before and want to understand the story before playing Horizon Forbidden West. If it is the latter, I do recommend playing this game first because, well, it's a very good game. I'll say it now instead of every 20 seconds like most YouTubers, but if you like this video then please do hit subscribe. I'm just a guy who loves video games and sharing their stories with the world. And it goes without saying, but I'm gonna say it anyway, spoilers ahead for Horizon Zero Dawn, obviously. Welcome to the futuristic world of Horizon Zero Dawn. It's the 31st century in the United States of America, and at some point in the past, the world as we know it fell and became dominated by machines. The humans who currently inhabit the world now live in tribes with limited access or understanding of technology. They live in huts and they hunt with spears and remember their predecessors, basically us, as the Old Ones. The machines, whom all resemble certain types of animals, for the large part coexist peacefully with the tribes, much like animals did in the old world. However, the machines have recently strangely begun to become hostile, a phenomenon that the locals are calling the derangement. Alright, after my best impression of a Horizon Zero Dawn tour guide, let's begin the story. This firecracker is the lovely Aloy, our playable character, and in my humble opinion, one of the best in-game protagonists in recent gaming history. Aloy is part of the Nora tribe, but was deemed an outcast many years ago due to her being an orphan. Seems fair. Aloy's real parents are a mystery, and she was raised by a fellow outcast called Rost. Outcasts are still technically part of the tribe, but are forced to live in isolation away from the main villages. The Nora are a deeply religious people worshipping a deity known as All-Mother, which is actually a big modern-looking door within a mountain. Due to their religious beliefs, they believe their land to be sacred and don't allow their members outside of it. As a young child, Aloy, after stumbling across an old ruin, discovered a strange technological device which is known as a focus. When equipped, the device provides you with information about your surroundings and heightens your senses, a little bit like Eagle Vision in Assassin's Creed games, but for Aloy, who has never played those games, it was all very new. Aloy desires to become a Nora Brave, which is essentially a soldier for her tribe. By doing so, she will no longer be known as an outcast, and in turn hopes to find out more about her parents. To become a Brave, you must complete a trial known as the Proving. Rost trains Aloy and takes her to the Proving event. When there, she spots someone else wearing a focus device, the first person Aloy has ever seen besides herself to be wearing one. The man is known as Olin and is strangely cold towards Aloy, and when talking to her, suffers a malfunction with his focus device. Remember that, and we'll come back to it later. In the Proving event, Aloy predictably blitzes the opposition and wins, becoming a Brave and ditching her outcast title. However, after the event, the tribe is attacked by a mysterious group. Aloy, along with the other newly anointed Braves, fight back the attackers, but most of the Braves are very sadly killed, but, you know, bravely. Aloy then notices that the attackers are all wearing focus devices. Then this big fucker called Helis looks all set to kill our Auburn beauty, making this the shortest video game in history before Rost saves the day and sacrifices himself to save the girl that he raised. Rest in peace, Rost. Aloy awakes inside the Sacred Mountain. You know, the one with the weird door that they all think is a fucking god? Yeah, that one. After conversing with Teersa, one of the matriarchs of the tribe, she learns that the cults have been attacking the tribe and ambushing them everywhere, and that they have been corrupting machines, which explains why they have started to become hostile. She also provides some information on Aloy's parentage. Sadly for Aloy, it is not that helpful.
This is where we found you. We heard your cries, came to look, and there you were.
Tiesa explains that they found Aloy as a baby at the foot of the big door. God. Logically suggesting that she had came out of it. When approaching the door, it springs into life, seemingly recognizing Aloy, but refuses her entry.
Error. Alpha registry corrupted. Identity cannot be confirmed. Entry denied.
Amongst the things recovered from the battle was a broken focus device that one of the cult members was wearing. Upon examining it, Aloy finds a message stating that she was the target of the attack and that the attackers saw her through Olin's focus. During the message, she sees an image of a woman who strangely resembles herself, leading Aloy to think that this may be her mother. Desperate to find out more, Aloy is granted permission to leave the sacred lands of the Nora and track down the killers. Before leaving, Aloy discovers a machine known as a corruptor, corrupting other machines. She fights them off and manages to obtain a device from the corruptor which allows Aloy the ability to corrupt machines for herself, allowing her to mount certain machines like a horse, basically because the developers realised that none of us gamers can be asked to walk everywhere. Our tribal hero heads to Meridian, one of the game's big cities and home of a different tribe, the Kaja, the most advanced of all the tribes. The Kaja are ruled by a Sun King, namely Avad, but are currently embroiled in a civil war with the Shadow Kaja, who are supporters of the old king and regime. Aloy hopes to find Olin in Meridian, knowing now through his focus that he was somehow linked to the attack. Within Olin's home, she finds evidence that he is working with the strange cult, seemingly against his will because they have his wife and children as hostages. Aloy manages to track down Olin, who is surrounded by cult members, and a mysterious stranger begins to speak to Aloy on her focus device and manages to disable the focuses of the cult members. With the help of the stranger, we manage to speak to Olin. He confirms Aloy's suspicions and explains that the cult are called the Eclipse and are attacking the tribe because of Aloy's likeness to a Dr. Sobek, and also explains what he heard earlier when his focus malfunctioned.
System threat detected. Just 3 words, but in the voice of a devil.
The mysterious voice continues to assist us in our investigation and reveals his name to be Silence. We soon discover another old ruin with another sealed door. This time, however, the door opens, identifying Aloy as Dr. Sobek.
Genetic profile confirmed. Entry authorized. Greetings, Dr. Sobek. Please step inside.
The ruin appears to be an old world company called Faro. Inside, we find clues as to what happened to make the world fall 1,000 years ago. Faro Automatic Solutions was a company who designed the first robots, who were known as peacekeepers. They would assist humans in many manner of ways, but most notably within the military. However, we learn that a glitch in the system caused one batch of machines to rebel, eventually causing a worldwide war between man and machine. We learn of this through an old recording between Faro founder Ted Faro and Dr. Elizabeth Sobek, who worked for the company. The two discuss the magnitude of the problem and reveal that the robots consume biomass in order to self-reproduce, basically meaning that they can use the world's environment to create more robots at their will. Sobek explains that this will eventually wipe out the human population and ruin the biosphere, stripping the world of all life. At the end of the recording, Sobek mentions a way to possibly save the world, a project known as Project Zero Dawn. And I'm like, that's the name of the game. Brilliant. We continue our search for ruins with clues and links to the old world in the hope of discovering more about what Project Zero Dawn was, which seemingly must have worked given that human life still exists. We eventually learn that Dr. Sobek was sent to a secret base in order to complete Project Zero Dawn. The now not so secret base is directly underneath the Citadel, which is home to You guessed it, the Eclipse. In order to get access, Aloy must sneak into the enemy's base. Aloy says,
"We need to move Lonzo."
That ain't no problem.
Huh?
That ain't no problem.
and gets inside the base. Within is all manner of information, and we learn that Project Zero Dawn was a vast underground network of facilities, all controlled by a single artificial intelligence, with the goal of creating a terraforming system to bring life back to Earth after extinction, or as Dr. Sobek better explains here.
This is the aim, the hope, of Project Zero Dawn. To create a super-intelligent, fully automated terraforming system and bring life back from lifelessness. What would such a system require? At its core, it would need a true AI, fully capable of making the trillions of decisions necessary to reconstitute the biosphere. An immortal guardian, devoted to the reflourishing of life. We call it Gaia. Mother Nature as an AI.
The plan was that when all life on Earth ceases to exist, Gaia, the AI, will begin to rebuild the world using a network of facilities. It would first find a way to shut down the machines before then repopulating the world with stored DNA. One of the facilities, called Apollo, also contained knowledge and education from the old world, meaning that the new generation of humans would be able to learn the ways of the old ones and rebuild the world as it was. Given the fact that all the humans alive now are living in a primitive and tribal way of life, not harnessing or understanding technology, it's clear something went wrong. One of the facilities within the network is called Hades, which is the name of the god that the Eclipse worship. Hades is a failsafe in case something went wrong with the plan, meaning that the terraforming process would reverse, undoing Gaia's work and allowing them to start again. Basically like a system reset. Before leaving, we download a file which Aloy notices was missing from the original door in the Nora mountain. Confused yet? Don't worry, we'll get there together. Before Aloy can digest all of this information, Helis finds and captures us. We're placed in a gladiator-like coliseum and forced to fight a wave of different machines. However, we are soon saved by Silence, and Aloy is like, "Yeah, nice one, mate. Good of you to finally show up." Interestingly, Helis seems to recognize Silence. We head back to the Nora mountain and the sealed door, and this time, with our new downloaded file, the door opens.
Alpha registry restored. Genetic identity confirmed. Entry authorized. Greetings, Dr. Sobek. You are cleared to proceed.
Inside, we discover that this is the facility responsible for bringing new humans into the world. Genetically created children were born here and educated in the old ways using the Apollo data. However, through further investigation, we learned something went wrong and Apollo didn't work. This explains why the new wave of humans had to start from scratch and why the current humans are living in tribal and primitive ways. Inside, Aloy finds the AI, Gaia, who immediately transmits a message intended for Dr. Sobek.
Elizabeth, this message serves to inform you of an unforeseen and catastrophic anomaly. 3 microseconds ago, the Gaia Prime facility received a data transmission of unknown origin. Its immediate effect was to transform my subordinate functions into unregulated, self-aware entities of a highly chaotic nature.
Gaia explains that an unknown signal was sent to Gaia Prime which activated Hades and caused the subsections of the facilities to become rogue AIs, meaning Hades began reversing the system. To prevent another human extinction, Gaia caused herself to self-destruct, meaning that it would also destroy Hades too, saving the world from another extinction. Before doing this, Gaia created a clone using the DNA of Dr. Sobek in the hope that that clone would one day rebuild Gaia when it's of adult age.
I have ordered this cradle facility to use genetic material in cryostorage to gestate a reinstantiation of Elizabeth Sobek, my creator.
That clone, you guessed it, is Aloy.
Whoa. Nah, I never knew that.
However, at the end of the message, Gaia reveals that something went wrong.
In response to my act of self-destruction, Hades has launched a virus to dissolve the code shackles that hold it.
Hades, seemingly gone rogue, begins to spread a virus throughout the system, essentially seizing control. In turn, this destroyed the Alpha Register, which is why Aloy couldn't enter and read the message earlier. Gaia leaves one final message in the hope that Aloy found the way to open the door. She tells Aloy to find the Master Override, which would allow her to destroy Hades. Once our hero has come to terms with the fact that she is about as human as an iPhone, she sets off to find the Master Override in the devastating ruins of Gaia Prime, which was caused by Gaia self-destructing. When inside, we find out that in the early stages of the plan, there was a breach on the outside of the base, meaning someone would have to go outside to reseal it. With no way back in, this would mean a certain death. Being a hero, Dr. Sobek donned her helmet and headed outside, sacrificing herself so that those inside can continue her life's work, Project Zero Dawn.
Take care of each other, alright?
Liz.
I'm okay with this. I want to go home. Goodbye.
After sitting there for 25 minutes and crying like a baby, I finally unpaused the game and continued on my journey. Further into the ruins, we find the corpses of the rest of the Project Zero Dawn team. It would appear that Ted Faro, remember that dickhead who created the robots that caused this entire mess? Yeah, well, he decided to purge the data from the Apollo system, meaning all the knowledge meant to educate the new wave of humans was lost. He did this believing that the knowledge was a curse and that the same mistake would happen in the new wave of humans. To prevent any of the team from undoing this, he trapped them all in a room and starved them of oxygen. This fucking guy. However, the good news, we do acquire a Master Override device which would allow us to shut down Hades. Before setting off to end Hades, Silence bids us a goodbye and reveals that it was him who first discovered Hades and actually created the eclipse to follow it. Silence claims that he did this as he wanted knowledge of what happened to the old ones, but left the cult when he realized Hades' true intentions. Hades and his army of the Eclipse and machines assault Meridian, hoping to use the Spire there to transmit a signal which will corrupt all machines on Earth and raise old machines, effectively ending life on Earth again. King Gavard, naturally, is shocked. Can you tell? The battle for Meridian begins and Aloy manages to kill Helis. During the skirmish, Hades' army of robots attack one of the gates, leading to an explosion and it collapsing. Aloy is underneath and sadly dies, ending the game. I'm only joking, she obviously doesn't die because of her plot armor and is absolutely fine. After a long and epic battle, our red-headed hero destroys Hades and saves the day. The humans rejoice and Aloy says, "See!" With the world now safe from the threat of Hades and the machines, Aloy manages to find Dr. Sobek's old home and finds her clone mother's corpse laying outside. In an emotional scene, Aloy bids goodbye to her kind of, but not really mother.
If you had had a child, Elizabeth, what would you have wished for him or her?
I guess I would have wanted her to be curious and willful, unstoppable even, but with enough compassion to heal the world just a little bit.
And with that, the game ends. Or does it? We all love a post-credit scene and Sony fucking love money and sequels. We see a strange device draw out of the wreckage of Hades and find its way to, yep, you guessed it, Silence, who says,
"Hello, old friend. Remember me? We've still so much to discuss. So much you never revealed. Your masters, for example. The ones who sent the signal that woke you. Knowledge has its rewards, don't you think? Well, Let's begin.
And thus our attentions and wallets turn towards Horizon Forbidden West, you sneaky bastards, Sony. And that is what happens in Horizon Zero Dawn. Apologies that this recap was so much longer than my usual ones, but a lot happens in this game, and it's really important if you're going into Horizon Forbidden West that you understand the intricate nature of Horizon Zero Dawn. For more videos just like this, then please hit subscribe.